so we just got off the air, and on our PESTEL analysis of setting, we got through all of our PESTEL pieces.
Which
but
really worked well, I gotta say.
Yeah, that was, I think, a good way to approach the setting conversation.
Yeah, you should really should write a paper. You should write an article on that.
You think so?
I'm trying to get. Well, I've never heard anyone else do it.
All right. Number 6. So this is our list of 10 things you should ask yourself when you're considering what setting you're going to put your story in. And number 6, do you want it to be real or fictional? And I think there's some nuance here, right? It could be based on a real setting, but then you're going to create some fictional elements around it. So I was writing about Brian being playing golf in Tucson, and I went and found a real golf course in Tucson, but then I had to make sure that it was open in 2000 when he would have been there, right? So that's some questions around that historical accuracy.
Yeah, I'm writing a book that takes place in a prison, and quite frankly, I mean, because it has to deal with ghosts and time travel to a certain degree with that.
Right.
I created a fictional prison that's based on a real prison.
Okay.
But I had to make it because again, I had to have it fit my timetable of events in the book.
Right.
So I had to play around with who would be there, when, what, and.
Well, and in a prison scenario too, you've got to have security measures in place, and what? And this goes back to the technology conversation.
Right.
What are the relevant security measures that were available during the era that you're writing in?
Right. So I have the whole history of the prison,
right,
which is really interesting.
Okay.
Good. All right.
I mean, yeah, I would trust you to give us just the interesting parts of the history of the prison, and not, treat us to a Dickensian explanation of the prison. Question number 7, is it small scale or large scale? What's the scope of the story? This is frustrating me when people use New York City as a setting, and the New York City doesn't really matter in the story, because why does it have to take place in a gigantic city like New York City? If the story could take place anywhere, why did you pick New York City? And to me, I think it's a shortcut, and it's a little bit of a cliche. And I'm talking specifically about romance stories.
Oh, yeah. You can just say the city.
Yeah.
You don't have to put it. If it doesn't matter, you can just put it anywhere.
Right.
Or just not even mention a name.
Question 8, do you want it to be urban or rural? Question 9, does the protagonist know the place or not? And then question 10, do you want to learn something new or use something you have already known? And we talked about how much more the author can bring to it when they know this location.
Absolutely.
Because you can give us more than just what you saw on Google about it, right? But I want to talk about real quick the protagonist knowing the setting, because I think A Stranger in a Strange Land is something that it can be really compelling. And stories that start out with somebody showing up and not knowing the town and not knowing, think of like Footloose, right? Where they don't know the nuances, they don't know the political climate or the social climate.
Well, no, everyone does except for Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, that can be really compelling. All right, thank you very much, patrons, for being patrons of our show. We appreciate you. If there's anything we can do for you to help you promote your work, by all means, please let us know. Send us an email to writeonsc29019@gmail.com, or just reach out to either Rex or myself through our social media. We appreciate you. Have a great day.